Hello and welcome to Not Even Once.
I'm Seth and I've seen once.
I'm Bob and I've seen once twice.
Last time on Once Upon a Time was The Price of Gold. We met Cinderella as Ashley, a pregnant maid. She finally gave birth after 28 years.
8 years.
And we find out that to get into the ball as Cinderella, she made a deal instead with Rumpelstiltskin instead of the fairy godmother. Mm-hmm. The rest of the episode was about Mr. Gold and the open-ended deals he loves to make.
Coming this summer from Blumhouse Horror, it's Cinderella, but it's about her being pregnant for 28 years.
God. It's horrifying.
Absolutely horrid.
The episode ends with Emma making a deal offering a favor to Mr. Gold in exchange for allowing Ashley to keep her baby.
A big ominous favor that's just, the sword of Damocles hanging over Emma's head for who knows how long.
Yeah, he'll decide at some point whatever it is.
Oh, he will.
And then finally, the ending scene, we find out that Graham is having some illicit relations with Regina.
Some very illicit. His socks were under the bed.
They were there and they were missing. So, this episode is called That Still Small Voice. On the show title screen, there is a spinning wheel, which has nothing to do with this episode. Spoiler?
Does it?
Okay, there's that one scene later on, but when you see a spinning wheel, you think more than anything else of Aurora.
Right, but
Sleeping Beauty.
You also know the Rumpelstiltskin story, right?
Weaving gold, yes.
Yeah, that's why it's there. It is an odd choice, I think, for the Jiminy Cricket episode.
Right.
It is, but regardless, that is there. So, this episode was directed by Paul Edwards, who had previously worked on Lost, Pushing Daisies, Heroes, The Sarah Connor Chronicles, and Battlestar Galactica. All of those genre TV shows that were airing on TV around that time. And it was also written by Jane Espenson, who is the credited writer on 31 Once Upon a Time episodes. So she is around a lot. She also writes some of the more notable stories, as you'll see. She has some of the more gut punch ones, which I like. She's a great writer. I looked her up. She had previously wrote for the ABC puppet sitcom Dinosaurs.
Oh,
with the dinosaurs and the I'm a Baby, Gotta Love Me. That's she
Roseanne,
worked on that
but prehistoric.
Show. Yeah, exactly. She wrote on that show, and we both watched the Matt Baum video about the gay episode. I would actually be really interested to see if she wrote that.
Yeah.
Hold on. AJ, we're going to pause this. I do want to look this up. It was not Jane Espenson. It was Rob Yulin for that. So Jane Espenson also wrote for Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the Ellen sitcom, Buffy, Firefly, Dollhouse, Gilmore Girls, The OC, Battlestar Galactica, Game of Thrones, Torchwood, Jessica Jones, so many more. She has written on so many shows. It's wild.
Long running, she has just been working for a long time.
She's incredible. I as soon as I was looking all this up on her, I was like, I need to follow her on Twitter because she's cool.
Yeah.
She's written some really great stuff. Check her out. And then the last thing, before we get into the recap of the episode, this one originally aired on November 27th, 2011. So this was the post-Thanksgiving episode about Jiminy Cricket's lovely family.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you think about that in Not in a Vacuum, it does kind of put the tone a little different that this aired after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a context that I missed watching this.
I don't think by any means it's a Thanksgiving episode, but it
is not.
There's some family drama, though.
There is. This episode, That's Still Small Voice, again, opens up on a puppet show in the fairy tale realm. There's a little ginger pickpocket robbing people in the crowd, climbs into the cart at the back of the performance. And then these two adults come out, and they're giving very Eponine's parents from Les Mis.
Do you want to know what one of my notes was?
What?
Jiminy Cricket's parents are the Thenardiers.
Yes! Oh, that's...
We got the reference.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's why we do this.
Also, I did want to point out,
yes.
So the episode title is a reference to a line of dialogue in Disney's Pinocchio, where Jiminy Cricket says, "What our conscience is, I'll tell you. A conscience is that still small voice people won't listen to."
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I didn't catch that at the first thing. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen Disney's Pinocchio, in all honesty.
It's been a very long time since I've seen it. At that point, Jiminy was a cricket instead of a boy, so we don't see his parents like we do here.
Right.
Do you have any information about the actors who play Jiminy's parents?
I do, yes. So, Jiminy's dad is played by Harry Grainer, possibly. He was born in Bavaria. And he has been in a ton of Broadway shows. He was Will Parker in Oklahoma. He was Munkus Trap in Cats, George in Sunday in the Park with George, and also King Arthur in Spamalot. He was the third actor to play that role and was coronated by the Spamalot cast and the previous king that played King Arthur, which is just an ongoing thing that they did, which I didn't know about, and I thought that was really great.
Neat.
In 1998 and 1999, he portrayed Richard Wilkins, who was the evil mayor of Sunnydale in the third season of Buffy, which I have not seen, but like I know from cultural osmosis that that's a storyline that they have to like go against the mayor. And then also like Jennifer Morrison, who plays Emma Swan, he was also on How I Met Your Mother. He played Ted's stepfather in that show. And then Jiminy Cricket's mother is played by Carolyn Hennessy. She has been on a ton of daytime soap operas. She gained international acclaim after landing the role of Diane Miller on General Hospital, for which she earned 2 Daytime Emmy Award nominations, and then also wrote a book called The Secret Life of Damien Spinelli, which was set in the General Hospital show with the characters that she played with her contemporaries at the time, and it like debuted at like 16 on the New York Times bestseller list, which like cool, great for her. In 2016, Hennessy was named an American Humane Association Celebrity Ambassador and spoke before a congressional committee on the organization's new Humane Conservation Initiative. She is the producer and host of Animal Magnetism, which is a radio program featuring wildlife and domestic animal professionals. The program focuses on welfare and conservation issues and examines both the human-animal bond and the global increase in human-wildlife conflict resulting from human overpopulation growth and climate change. And she also has voiced General Leia a few times, first in the Lego Star Wars TV show and also the Star Wars Resistance animated show that was on Cartoon Network.
Wow.
Yeah.
Royalty.
Yeah, exactly. I did note, going back to Once Upon a Time now, the market where young Jiminy is like running around and pickpocketing people. Mm-hmm. That puppet stage was clearly the real thing that they had on that green screen soundstage, and everything else was there.
They made it appear.
Yes.
It was that time.
Yeah. And it's like, I know it feels like we're always harping on this, and we're always gonna mention it, but like, we know it was of its time. We know they only had the budget they had. It's just funny, I think.
The technology was only advanced as it was. It is just that we're looking at this from, 2022.
From over 10 years in the future.
Yep. So, Jiminy and the Thenardiers are going through their hall, and Jiminy pulls a cricket out of the bag. Maybe I want to be something else. Maybe I don't want to steal. Yeah.
Wonder what that's setting up. I did notice the parents' costumes resembled the thieving characters from the Disney movie as well.
From
like the Pinocchio movie.
I don't remember.
They match the costumes for Honest John and Gideon.
Oh. Yeah,
which I thought was a really, really cool touch.
Gotcha.
Like, not exactly, but you can see the inspirations that they had.
I see.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat.
And every time they talk, they have, like, a flow, a cadence with each other.
They're good.
It's so good.
Like, there's a reason I clock them as, like, the Thenardiers.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they are so... I mean, like, we'll get to this later, but, like, when they're conning the family...
Yeah.
They're so... Like, they're fun to watch, even though you know they're awful. Like...
You look at the way that they deliver these lines, and you're like, did they just get that in one take? Like, it's so smooth, so good.
They're con artists. They've rehearsed this.
Oh, yeah. Back in modern times, in Archie's office, we see Henry and Archie talking about crickets. Jiminy wasn't always a cricket. There aren't any crickets in Storybrooke. Oh, there are. You just haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Very 30-year-old writer and a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it's like, the crickets are where you need them to be, Archie. It's like, what are you talking about? You're a child.
Right. Archie starts trying to break him of his, quote, imagining. But, like, didn't he tell Emma strictly, do not do this?
Yeah.
Like...
And he's not, like, really trying. I think he's just trying to, like, gently push at it. Later, he really tries.
Yes.
And that's horrible to watch.
Yes, it is. But, like, it's even happening before, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And so Archie asks Henry, why do you think it's so important that this is real? To which Henry says, it just is. Which is a very 10-year-old answer to give.
But also is exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it really just is.
The like, dual-mindedness that you have to watch this as, like, yes, he is correct, but at the same time, it's like, this is just the weirdest, like, ghost creepy kid, except instead of, like, goth, he's just like, fairy tales. I have to talk about fairy tales. That's all that is going on in the world.
All the time.
So Archie is in the scene, and he's been around for a bit, but this is the first
time we focus on him.
Right, this is his little, gold star episode. So he is played by, I apologize if I mispronounce this, Raphael Sbarge. He's been in a ton of stuff, like almost every other actor on the show. He started on Sesame Street when he was 5 years old.
When he was 5 years old?
You might recognize his voice. He voiced Caden Alenko from the first 3 Mass Effect games.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Here comes a sweet tangent. Here comes a sweet tangent. Here comes a sweet tangent.
So, quick detour. First time I played through the first Mass Effect, I straight up did not romance anyone because I wanted to specifically romance Caden. And then finally it got to 3 and I could, and I was like...
So you probably also recognize his voice from something else. He voiced Professor Zay in the second season of Avatar: The Last Airbender in the Wan Chitong Library episodes in the desert.
What was the character name?
The Professor. Like, that ends up staying in the library.
Oh, yeah!
That's him. Yeah, that's
I forgot the name of that character!
I know, I didn't either, but I was like, oh, Avatar. And then I had to look it up because I was like, I think that's the only professor they come across in the show.
You're talking the library. The only character that I think about when I think of the library is the owl spirit.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but there is the guy that...
I forgot there was the professor.
I was like, that's cool as hell. He's been in a bunch of theater stuff as well. He was on Murder in the First on TNT for its 3-season run. And outside of the acting field, Raphael is deeply invested in an environmentalist nonprofit organization called Green Wish, which he launched with Ed Begley Jr. and Rachel Carson Begley. And it's aimed at donating to local green organizations through donations at retailers. So, like, love that. There really are a lot of the actors on this show are, like, big environmentalists and, like, animal rights supporters. I think that's neat.
And humane. Back at the police station, Graham is trying to get Emma to wear stereotypical-looking sheriffy colors and outfits. She says, no, my red leather jacket, because now she's back to red, I guess. My red leather jacket is my style. I don't want no police cops. This blood don't run blue.
This blood runs red as an American and my leather jacket.
Because she knows people see that badge, they think ACAB.
Yeah, she doesn't want Cinderella throwing a brick at her.
Right. So he gives her an actual badge to wear instead of just the outfit, just to make it official that she's going to live here. I guess she just gave up her entire previous life. Cool. I guess that works since she presumably was self-employed as a bounty hunter.
I think that's the impression that I got. Like, it was kind of like job to job. Like, it wasn't like she goes into an office every day kind of thing.
Right.
So, like, she probably does have, or, I mean, given the conceit of the show, has to have the luxury of just picking up her life and going somewhere else.
Only 3 boxes.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very much, she's like, yeah, okay, I'll do this. And then she clips the badge onto her belt, and she must have clipped it on there really hard because an earthquake happens.
Yep.
In Maine.
He gives her the badge, and it shatters the world. So we next go to this crater. Regina pulls up and starts telling people to clear away. Sheriff Graham didn't do that, nor did his deputy, because I guess the entire town already knows we don't respect the police.
Correct.
So Regina walks up to Graham and Emma and says, Miss Swan, this is now official town business. You're free to go.
And then Emma says,
actually, I work for the town now.
Fuck you, Regina.
And Regina says,
oh, I guess the mayor's always the last to know.
I thought we had something special, Graham.
The betrayal.
We'll always have last night in my chimney.
We'll always have last night in Granny's motel.
So after that conversation, who pulls up? Archie and Henry. Like, to this site where there was just an explosion and a crater. What type of, like, this is child endangerment. You are responsible for him as his therapist.
Yeah, is this, like, right downtown? Like,
no, it appears to be,
did Archie and Henry just drive a really long time to get to Regina?
That's the impression that you get. Regina wants to collapse and pave over the tunnel. Henry protests, so we know that there's something important down there. Mm-hmm. Along with the piece of glassish thing that Regina picks up.
Obviously, like, in the middle of a press conference, he just looks at this piece of glass and, like, sticks it in her pocket, and Henry is the only person that notices this.
The only person that comments on it, so you know it's gonna be important.
Yeah, of course.
Chekhov's glass. And so you kind of like, oh, wait, is Archie gonna pickpocket or something? Spoiler, no, but like...
That would have been cool.
Right? Bring that back in. But...
Well, he doesn't remember he was a pickpocket, though.
It's still, muscle memory.
It would have been really cool.
Henry calls Emma and Archie over. We gotta have everyone from Operation Cobra. Did you do anything different today, Emma, that made this happen? Pan to her, feeling down to the badge.
Oh, yeah. Like, did I do this?
Did I do that?
Regina comes over and confirms Archie's last name. Hopper. Like a cricket. He's in trouble.
Regina rips into him.
Oh, she does.
She dresses this full adult man down.
You work for me. You are an employee and I can fire you. This is my town. You will lose your office, lose your home. I can cut you down to size until you're a tiny, shrunken little creature. And this, holds up the black umbrella, will be the only roof over your head. This is such malfeasance.
Right?
Oh, wow.
It is... It's like, shocker, she's the evil queen.
Yeah.
I do love that in the kayfabe of Storybrooke, this regular just mayor, who's woman of, who's leading this town, just threatens to shrink a man, which she could do, but is wild to hear about.
Wild to hear just, threats like that. You'd think it would be just as crazy as saying to all of your aldermen, what the hell are you doing? I've got the biggest dick here.
Wow, yeah, it would be wild if local politics ever happened like that.
Right?
But it's not like we live in a magical fairy tale land. We live in a place called Chicago where no government politician would ever say something like that.
Never.
Never, not in a million years.
Back in the fairy tale realm, little Jiminy is grown up into a creepy looking older guy.
Yeah, this is the thing where it's like they use the same actor and he's very good as Archie and as like the voice of conscience. He's a great voice actor and everything. He doesn't look like a convincing young adult. Right. Like, there's a little bit of it's like, okay, you have to suspend some disbelief.
Maybe if they kept a cap on him.
Yeah,
like,
it is. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like this full, like, I mean, I would assume he was probably like at least 35 when he was filming this. And like, he's
but
like,
his parents don't look that much older.
Yeah. I mean, we've touched on
it's
in the
makeup.
past.
You can only do so much. We get it.
And
but still, just kind of like watching, being like, huh. Okay.
Yeah, it is that. I mean, we've touched. Age is a questionable thing in this show, and don't think too much about it.
Look, time stopped. Ashley's been pregnant for 28 years.
Don't think about how this was before all of that, though. Time was not messed with yet, but don't think about it.
Jiminy says to his parents, we make enough on the ticket sales. Do we have to steal too? And then they again put on this great performance to him. We steal from them, they steal from someone else. It's an economy, and we are a vital part.
And I made that exact same quote line and said, oof, because...
Too real.
I mean, who could have thought that they weren't already in America?
Right.
But,
Jiminy wants to quit. His parents start guilting him to stay. It's my hip. It's my liver. I've got lumps in strange places. I've got burning sensations. That is TMI, madam. Too much information.
He lives with them in a little trailer. 3 full adults in this little tiny trailer that he has to unpack that also has their little puppet stage in it too.
Ma'am, this is an Applebee's.
Over Gina's favorite restaurant.
Rain closes the show. A small child wanders up and says, wow, you must love your job. Wait, no, you don't? Why?
Why?
And then he asks why he doesn't do something else. This is just who I am. And so we get the theme of the episode.
Mm-hmm. And this little kid is, dude, quit your job.
Yeah.
Me to all of my friends all the time. You hate your job, quit your job.
Me to me.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I also had to have that conversation with myself a while ago.
Not currently, but like previously I had absolutely said, why am I here? Jiminy says, this is just who I am. The kid gives a little bit of Henry vibes, talking like a 30-year-old, being like, I just came to listen to the crickets.
Yeah. The other theme of the episode. It's being true to yourself and crickets.
Mm-hmm. They'll appear when you're truthful to yourself. The kid gives Jiminy his umbrella and leaves. Jiminy can't fucking believe that someone be like, nice to him. But
I
also,
mean, given
like,
his parents, that tracks.
I guess.
That sucks.
But also,
his life
like,
really sucks.
How is this umbrella going to help him when he's already soaked through to the bone?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, sure, but, you know. Anyway.
Also, it's worth pointing out, so the glasses that adult Jiminy wears in the Enchanted Forest, those are real antique glasses that were over 100 years old.
Oh.
Which, that's cool.
They just let them get soaked.
Yep. Cool.
Work. Back in Archie's office, Marco comes in and reminds Archie that they were going to get lunch. But Archie scheduled Henry, who always has to come in and make a conversation awkward. Marco starts to walk away sadly.
And so this is the first time that we really get to see much of Marco / Geppetto. We obviously know as Geppetto. So Geppetto is played by Tony Amendola. Amendola is the voice actor for Khadgar, who's one of the central characters in World of Warcraft.
Huh.
And in 2019, he also voiced the Jedi researcher Eno Cordova in the video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Out of curiosity, were there dates for when he played Khadgar's voice? Because there were different times.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't see notes or a specific date for those.
Gotcha.
So Raphael Sparge and Tony Amendola were in theater performances together in the Antaeus Company in LA and have remained friends since. So they knew each other before the show, which I thought was cool. And he also played and I do not know Stargate at all, the Jaffa Master Bratak in Stargate SG-1, and also the Catholic priest Father Perez in the 2014 horror film Annabelle, a role he reprised for the 2019 film The Curse of La Llorona. He also played Salman Rushdie on Seinfeld in a few episodes.
Neat. Henry then comments that Marco is Geppetto after he walks out and starts showing that he's going to go to the crater and tunnel with flashlights and candy bars.
Right.
What in the Little Rascals does he think he's going to do? How long does he think this is going to take?
He's a little rascal with no rascals.
But he's 30.
The Goonies, then.
Archie gets frustrated after the conversation with Regina and tells Henry that it's all a delusion. Do you know what a delusion is? I think so.
Yeah, Archie folds here like a piece of origami.
And he just goes off like Regina went off on him.
This legitimately hurt me to watch.
It was, yeah.
It's like, dude, you're his therapist. What's wrong with you?
Right? Like, you get how it has to go for the story, for the show. But, like, if you sit back and think of this relationship that they're having, it's like,
yo, dude. Also, he says to Henry, "We'll have to lock you away." Excuse me? You don't say that to a kid.
He ends the conversation with, "This nonsense must end." And Henry just, like, stares, gives nooch, and gets up and walks out.
That was brutal.
Honestly, like, if I had the self-control to walk out of situations like that, props to you, 30-year-old man in a 10-year-old body. Oh, boy. And Archie doesn't even, like, call out, doesn't get up to try to stop him.
Yeah, he just, like, I don't know if he does it now or in the next scene, but, like, does he has, like, a drink or something? He's like,
later
whiskey.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if he's gonna let Henry go, couldn't he, like, run after Marco and still go get lunch?
See, he just yelled at a child. I don't think that sits well with him, which it shouldn't.
Well, of course not. No lunch counter seat is going to be comfortable.
I mean, Granny's Diner looks delightful.
Yes, the atmosphere is comfortable.
Yeah, the seats are straight out of AliExpress.
At the hospital, Mary and David are playing hangman.
This is cute.
It is. And so you see it, there's A's, R's, and blanks. I thought this was all going to be one word, but we find out that she almost got hanged on her own name, Mary Margaret.
Yeah. It's cute. These two actors, it is like undeniable the chemistry they have together.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
So cool.
I was going to ask, when did they start dating?
They met on the show and started dating during the show. So, like, this was when...
man.
It's really
like,
cool,
they
right?
really do have something good.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, to this day, like, it's... I'm just, like, blown away. And it really just makes the show all the better for that.
Yeah, you can tell that the flirting he's doing is not just in character.
100%, yeah.
But Catherine then walks in, and Mary is obviously nervous and stammers her way out, being incredibly obvious.
Yeah.
She could not be less subtle about it, and David stares at her. Because he loves her.
We weren't flirting. I have to go. I have a biology class to teach to second graders.
Catherine brings out some pictures to help David remember things, like the picture of their dog, Ajax. Who names their dog Ajax?
I don't know. Maybe it's a clue to who Catherine is.
Back at Mary's place, Mary is venting to Emma. It would be so much easier if Catherine were horrible, but she's so nice. Mary, what exactly would be easier? Oh shit, oh god, 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 oh god, oh shit, oh god.
Sleeping with a married man.
Henry shows up just in time to make things awkward again.
He always does.
But crying this time.
Yeah.
Cut back to Archie's office. Emma bangs the door open and goes off on him.
Yeah, she goes full mother, like, what is wrong with you? Which is the correct reaction.
Absolutely. You told me not to take this away from him, that it would devastate him. But also, Emma, is this your place? Wouldn't it be more appropriate if Mary went? She's kind of his teacher.
Also his grandmother.
Also his grandmother, but she doesn't know that.
Right. It's messy.
It is. I can relate. Emma immediately clocks that it's Regina forcing this to happen. Speaking of Regina, she calls very conveniently at the very right time.
Right.
Where's Henry? Emma dropped him off at Regina's office over an hour ago. Well, he's not there. I don't know where he is. Pan to Archie. I do.
Yeah, that, like, how convenient that she happens to be exactly at the place where the therapist knows where he'll be, which plot on a show.
We gotta get this going. It's only an hour show. So, Henry's obviously going to the tunnel in the crater. Mm-hmm. Back at the fairy tale realm, some castle tower, spinning yarn into gold thread, it's Rumpelstiltskin. Jiminy brings some stuff in, along with a list of the names they were stolen from, and Rumpelstiltskin pays for them with golden thread.
Also pays very close attention to all the names of the people.
Mm-hmm. Rumpelstiltskin also offers a tincture to feed to his parents or use on his parents, and they'll change into something else. Rumpelstiltskin will just appear to collect them as his fee in exchange for this tincture. Not nearly as open-ended as any of the other deals that we've seen Rumpelstiltskin make.
Oh yeah, but you know he always has something going on in his back pocket.
Mm-hmm. About 3 different,
Yeah, like 3 layers deep of double-crossing, doing some ulterior motive stuff over here. Like, he has so many irons in the fire, he doesn't have any extra burners on the stove.
Yeah, it seems like there's not even any kind of thread to them. He's just throwing all this shit against the wall to make sure that something's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, no, he is the ultimate doomsday prepper.
Back in modern times, Archie goes in towards the tunnel. Emma is just kind of standing at the tape looking out away from it. I mean, my dude, Archie said that he went there looking to go inside. Do you not believe him?
Right. It's
but whatever.
Clearly in there.
The dog appears, and they officially name the dog Pongo.
No, Pongo was named in the first episode.
Really?
Yep, was named in the pilot. When Archie is walking Pongo.
Oh.
He says, "Come on, Pongo, let's go."
I don't remember that.
It's very throwaway, so, like...
Gotcha.
No worries.
Inside the tunnel, Henry's looking around with a flashlight and finds something hidden. Kind of like the thing that Regina found, but... bigger. The camera shakes, tunnel collapses. Archie goes inside, gets inside just as the entrance collapses. Mm-hmm. Henry comes up and finds him, and then runs away saying, you'll see, you don't believe me still. Archie still doesn't even try to grab or chase after him with any sort of urgency.
Nope.
Until like 10 seconds later. Like, are you actually concerned, dude? My dude.
He's probably just a little shocked that he just is now in a collapsing mineshaft.
Maybe. Back in fairy tale times, Jiminy wants not to steal from people. Him and the Thénardiers came upon this house, and they're like... yeah, we gotta do this. And he's like...
do we have to? We don't need the money.
And so they convince him to do it. So they knock on the door, and an innocent young handsome couple opens the door. And they invite themselves in to share dinner, stay the night, share their hearth, etc. And they mention a plague. The plague? Well, a plague. We're immune. We have elf potion. We have elf tonic.
Mm-hmm, elf tonic.
Made by elves, from elves.
4 out of 5 court physicians recommended. I thought that was so dumb and so, like, well written.
Especially because the fifth one died before you could try it.
Yeah, it was a very, like, smooth con man. Like, it worked so well.
And again, yeah, the flow that they have, immediate, like, it's almost Gilmore Girls level of fast pace.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, one after the other, but, like, not as jarring as that rate of conversation.
Right.
It feels, we call them the Thenardiers because, like, that's how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
They clean out the place in all of their money in exchange for the elf tonic.
Take literally everything.
Literally everything. They get outside, and Jiminy tries to use his tincture on his parents, but it's just rainwater.
Which just happens to look exactly the same as the other bottle, which, like, at first I was like, wait, how did the parents get the Rumpelstiltskin bottle? And then it was like, oh, there was a double cross.
Yep. His father switched it with the tincture that Jiminy had. So the innocent couple got the tincture, and Jiminy just used rainwater on his parents. So he runs back inside to find that they are the creepy dolls from the pawn shop.
Yeah, I didn't think too much about that when you mentioned it last episode, but I came back and I was like, wow, you clocked that.
Mm-hmm.
It horrifying dolls.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, you mentioned Annabelle earlier. It gives very Annabelle vibes.
Very that.
So after Jiminy comes inside, his parents come inside and start lording it over him, being like,
Oh, what cute little puppets.
then the same little boy that gave Jiminy the umbrella in the rain comes in, recognizes the puppets as his parents, and starts going off on Jiminy and not the creepy older couple that's gloating over it.
See, the kid has no frame of reference for these other two adults. But, like,
But he specifically said, what did you do to them? Like, you'd think he would have turned to all three of them. But I guess just Jiminy, because he's met him before.
Yeah, it is. This is like, you want to get stabbed in the belly and have it twisted around. This scene, it's hard to watch.
It is very oof.
Yeah, big oof.
Back in Storybrooke, in the mine, Archie finds Henry, who sees something shiny down a hole. Archie is frightened for them. Because you don't believe me? No, it's because we're trapped and there's no way out. It's like a metaphor for Jiminy's life. Oh my gosh. But Henry finally gets it and realizes, I've been a precocious little shit.
Yep, just a little bit.
Outside the tunnel, they're moving stones individually, one by one, in a chain, passing them along. The least efficient way to do this.
See, I will go to bat on this one, because I think it's and they never say this, but I think it's because they don't want the tunnel to collapse more.
Well, they don't succeed with that. It starts to collapse more.
Right, yeah. I think they're just trying to be, like, as careful as possible, because they don't know what's going on down there.
Well, it does start to collapse more. Why is Ruby here, by the way?
She's just here.
She's just here.
I have a note about that. Like, she is there to help. She watches Pongo, and then she sits in the crane truck and does the crane.
Yeah. Regina starts to freak out, and Emma steps up and says, you know why he went there in the first place, don't you? Because you made him feel like he has something to prove. And Regina says, and who's been encouraging him? Don't put this on me. Sure, lecture me until his oxygen runs out. And Regina is just acting the hell out of this.
Right.
She is a queen at this.
She is like looking at herself in the mirror as both Mona Lisa from Parks and Rec and Henry Winkler from Parks and Rec. You've done nothing wrong. I love you. That's her looking in the mirror.
Pongo barks, and Archie and Henry hear that and gives them a direction to go. Regina and Emma call a truce and want something big to punch the ground. Marco suggests explosives. Archie finds an elevator shaft which gets shaken when the explosions are blown. Did they really just have these explosions on hand? Because, like, that was really, really fast.
I think some time must have passed.
Well, either way, when those explosions go off,
yeah,
people
is
are
quick.
Way too close.
Very, very close.
And even for a controlled explosion, they're way too close.
Yeah.
But as soon as they do go off, Emma bolts into the smoke where you cannot see anything. She fully disappears from camera.
She needs to prove that she loves Henry.
Good job. I guess it didn't open. And Sheriff Graham says, then what did it do? Because it must have done something instead of being ineffective. So it shook the elevator that they were in, and now they can't get out the way that they were hoping.
Oops.
Now it cut to the hospital. David needs some physical therapy help. If only there were a volunteer nearby who would want to go on a walk with him.
On a nice walk.
Because he needs an escort.
Don't call her that.
Excuse. Oh my God.
We support sex workers here at this podcast.
Sex work is real work. Hey, Mary, do you know any volunteers that want to spend some time with me? Oh my God. We also find out David lied. He did not remember Ajax.
Yeah, the big... He's just been lying to Catherine and saying he remembers things. Like, dude... It's a weird line for you to be walking.
But Bob, there is one thing that feels real. Do you know what that is?
His actual wife.
One thing does feel real. You. You're the only thing in this whole place that feels right. And again, you're like, oh boy.
Oh boy!
Should I be watching this? Like, should they be in a room? Because it feels... you're waving, you're fanning yourself, because that's the right reaction. They are about to kiss, and Catherine shows up with cranberry muffins.
Who else? Who else but the supposed other woman?
Right? And so, as Mary Margaret walks away, David says, I'll see you tomorrow, and she just smiles. Back to the crater. Emma lets Pongo out of the fire truck to try to help find them, because if only we knew exactly where they were, we could tunnel down. Pongo finds something. He finds something.
Using a dog to do a dog's digging. Love it.
And then they start digging with their hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, work.
I mean, I guess it works out in the end because they only go for 2 seconds before they find...
It's like the most lightly covered grate.
Great!
Yeah, they find the cover for the grate, they pull it off,
Great.
And they realize it is an access tunnel. Inside that tunnel, Henry and Archie start to have a heart-to-heart, and they apologize to each other. Mm-hmm. Archie blames Regina for all of this without directly blaming her, because he's very passive-aggressive, and boy, do I felt seen by that. Archie comments that it's so natural for Henry to be free. It's almost like that's the theme of the episode.
Ta-da!
Archie comments, I'm not the man I want to be. The shaft grate comes off. Graham wants to go down the shaft to rescue them. Emma says, no, it's me. Regina says, no, it's me. He's my son. Emma says, he's my son too. My dude, you gave that up. This is such a not good thing for you to say.
At the same time, though, I love how it's like, Regina, like, what are you gonna do? Like, if anyone, like, being completely objective, like, not knowing any of the backstory, I would say Emma is way more prepared for this than, like, and Emma
she
even
does
says,
look like she is more prepared to go down there.
And
but
Emma
also,
says, like,
Sheriff Graham looks like he's even more better prepared to go down there.
I think...
Except for the vest.
Yeah, well, I think it's like he's too big compared to Emma, you know? Like,
I guess?
Because it's like you're trying to squeeze into this little, like, mine shaft. And doesn't Emma say it's like, you've been sitting behind a desk for 28 years or something like that?
Did she just call her fat?
I don't know. That's not what the implication was. It was like, you can't do this. Let me do this. I'm doing it. And then she, like, goes and gets the harness on.
Yeah, Emma does look stronger, and Regina gives in and lets her do it. Just bring him back to me. Mm-hmm. Back down there, Archie says Henry's helped him remember the person he wants to be. Emma comes down from above like some sort of angel and grabs Henry. The elevator shakes and falls. But Archie is safe. He's holding on by holding his umbrella, which is hooked into a carabiner?
Yeah, that Emma had.
It's the one on Emma's waist? Because that's not exactly clear.
Yeah, it's I think it's a carabiner that's on the harness.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure.
Either way, that is a strong carabiner. That is a strong umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, they make them good quality. Everyone gets pulled out of the hole, and I guess Ruby is there because Billy is there?
Yeah, you know... Also, wait, Billy?
Billy, the tow truck guy that almost dropped her car before Ashley took it.
Was that the same guy?
Yeah,
I
was the same guy.
That. That's really cool. Also, did you know the fire truck that they used during the scenes that's at the crater, that was an actual, like, restored vintage fire truck that the town had that they let them use. I thought it was really cool.
That is. After they get out of there, Archie pulls Regina over, and he says that he's going to go back to treating Henry the way that he originally was going to.
Ooh,
like, the therapist decides that he should be treated. Or what? You'll do your worst? Because I always do my best. And I pause right there because I'm like, my dude, you are a therapist. You should be threatening to call CPS on her.
And then he does.
Yes, immediately after he does. But I'm typing out this thing to myself being like, you should be threatening to call CPA.
CPA is an accountant. Because
you are a therapist. Ostensibly a licensed one, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing this.
Right, it goes to reason.
But, like, you should be saying things like, treatment doesn't happen on a schedule, on a timetable. Mm-hmm. You need to be telling and explaining this to her. Damn the fact that she's the mayor.
Right, yeah.
So, again, she...
How does he phrase it to her when he, like, says, you should look up who the judges usually side with in cases like these?
He threatens saying that Regina might find herself in a custody battle soon. A custody battle? Excuse me, a custody battle with who? Emma, the woman who signed away her rights to Henry?
Well, I mean, look at the stuff that Regina is pulling, though.
But still.
Right, no.
Like, the implication is Emma, but legally there's no grounds. If anything, the state would take Henry.
Don't think about it too much. It's an empty threat, but it's a really cool empty threat.
Anyway, the person who the law would side with is anyone basically that the therapist points to.
Right.
Because they call experts. Cut back to Fairy Tale. Jiminy is standing alone in the night against a fence, and he wishes upon a star. The blue fairy comes down, and Jiminy apparently is wishing that she would bring back the boy's parents. She can't do that, but she turns Jiminy into a cricket so that he can help that boy. That boy's name? Albert Einstein.
Stop.
That boy is Geppetto. And so that's how the great friendship between Jiminy Cricket and Geppetto happens.
I really liked that twist.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
I mean, the twist in general of that young boy being Geppetto was brutal, and, like, even on a rewatch, like, I forgot that had happened.
Oh, yeah?
And it hit. It was like, whew. But then, like, the fact that, like, that's why Jiminy is around Geppetto, I thought that was really great.
Yes. Crickets start chirping in modern time, and Henry says things are changing. He points it out, and everyone's like, I guess there are crickets.
So the scene where the crickets are heard in Storybook for the first time, it was originally supposed to be a visual effect with, like, the crickets, like, jumping up.
Oh.
I'm really happy they didn't do that.
Yeah, that would be... Especially with the CGI, that would be awkward.
Yeah, you just need the sound effect, and it was good.
Yeah.
If they had, like, jumping crickets, I think that would have looked super awkward.
Yeah.
And I think probably that's why they ultimately didn't do it.
Now that it's the end of the episode, we need to go through a flash of a couple scenes really quickly, just to set things up for the future. Mm-hmm. So the first one, we see a shot of Mr. Gold's shop, panning as he's leaving, and we see the puppets there again.
Those horrifying puppets.
Mm-hmm. Cut to the hospital. Mary puts a letter in a mailbox. It is a letter of resignation from her volunteer work, because this is not her full-time job. She's a teacher. Everyone is happy back at the mine shaft.
At the pit.
Regina drops the glass thing down the mine shaft. and it lands, shatters, and we find out that it's actually a piece from Snow White's glass coffin.
I didn't catch that on my first watch, so I needed to like rewind because I think it was just like really dark, so I didn't get a good view of it. But then I was like, oh, I don't think there's a better way that they could have had to like get that across, or maybe I just completely missed it. But like on a rewatch, I was like, okay, I know what that is.
Yeah. Like, as they were showing the individual pieces earlier in the episode, I thought that maybe it was parts of the orb that contained the curse. Which still would have been, like, I suppose thematically fitting based on what I know up till this point. But, like, yeah, it's neat to see that is there. It's not just the people that have come through, but also stuff like this. And it's weird that, like, so big an object comes through to the realm when, like, she, by the point the curse hit, she hadn't been in that coffin for quite some time. At the very least, 9 months.
Goes to reason that there might be some more that we'll be seeing of that. It might be an important thing.
Chekhov's glass coffin.
Also, here's another fun jumping off point for the future. If the glass coffin came through, I wonder what other larger things from the Enchanted Forest could have come along.
Captain Hook's ship.
Who knows?
Anyway, that is the last scene of the episode. The next episode is called The Shepherd.
Yeah, what do you think? We talked a little bit off mic about this. Give me a guess.
I've got... That name gives me nothing. Like, I've been pretty good about my guesses for the next episode based on the names.
Generally, you have been. You've been on it.
But this gives me absolutely nothing. Like, is it someone poor getting raised to a higher station? Is it one of the fairy tale mentors getting some time to shine? Or is this more about the blue fairy? Like... I cannot think of what else it could be unless, like, wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing. Is it about the big bad wolf? Like, that's literally the only other thing besides...
I'm just sitting here stroking my beard ominously. I will tell you, one of the things you said was correct.
Oh, man. Okay. And that's all I got from this episode, because, like, that name isn't... That tells me nothing.
Shepherd. Yeah.
Oh, no. I know what it is. This is that crossover with Firefly episode.
Yeah, I don't know Firefly at all, so.
There is a character named Booker. He is a shepherd. Which is kind of like a wandering priest in that universe.
Yeah. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, so I know the character.
Yes.
You know what? You called it. It's him.
Yes.
This is the Once Upon a Time Firefly crossover that everyone's been waiting for.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying with us. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts.
Thank you very much, our friend AJ, for editing our show. Say hi, AJ.
Hi.
The title song that we use is World of Magic by Scott Buckley. You can find this song and more music at his website, which is linked in the description.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NotEvenOncePod. Links are in the bio.
You can follow me personally on Twitter at TheKidAin'tRight.
You can follow me on Twitter at Recycled Sarcasm.
And you can email us at notevenoncepod@gmail.com if you want to talk more about the show, give us any talking points for future episodes, or just chat.
Now enjoy your happy ending.
Making a magic. AJ, I swear you cannot put that in there.
Oh my god, kind of like an outtake afterwards. I love it.
He's gonna do it.
He will.
Correct.
Especially now that we said it.
That is correct.